I'm going to start off this video by asking you guys to let me know your favorite memory that you have about Plants vs Zombies. I would love to go through the comments and read what you guys have to say. Now, as for today's video, it is the year 2023, and for us Plants vs Zombies fans, we probably have a few questions. I think a few of these questions we can put together information we have been able to gather and make our own conclusion. When it comes to the Plants vs Zombies shooters, first of all, you need to know that there were two different teams working on the games. A studio in Seattle in the United States was focused on the mobile games, such as Plants vs Zombies 2 and Peggle. However, there was a second team at the EA Studios in Vancouver, Canada, which was purely focused on making the third-person shooters, which of course was Garden Warfare 1, Garden Warfare 2, and Battle for Neighborville. Now, while the team in Seattle are still working on Plants vs Zombies 2, adding new plants and other stuff, and as far as I'm aware, are still working on Plants vs Zombies 3, the team in Vancouver is no more. That team was broken up and staff members were put onto other EA titles, such as Battlefield and Apex Legends. So from my understanding, there is no active team working on another Plants vs Zombies shooter, and unfortunately I can't see that happening unless EA decide they want to spend a lot of money on making another PvZ game that isn't on mobile, especially with the reception Battle for Neighborville got. It hurts to hear that we may never get another Plants vs Zombies shooter or even another type of Plants vs Zombies game anytime soon that isn't on mobile. I do also want to mention that a few years ago, before Plants vs Zombies Battle for Neighborville was released, there was another Plants vs Zombies game in development. A while ago, we were given some concept art of what the game was going to be like. Now, as far as I'm aware, there was no fundamental issues with this Plants vs Zombies game. The team were very excited to show it to the board of directors at EA. There was no issues with the budget, and apparently, they actually were quite positive in the meeting and happy about the game. However, a few days later, they contacted the people working on this Plants vs Zombies game and said it was going to be shut down, and the team working on the game were going to be moved over to work on a Star Wars game, which a year later was also cancelled. Those members that were moved over to then focus on this Star Wars game were spread across various other EA titles, and people never went back to look at this game. And instead, I think the remaining people in Vancouver started working on Battle for Neighborville as another third-person shooter. It's such a shame that there was nothing fundamentally wrong with this game. Everybody, the team working on the game, and the people high up in EA were actually quite happy about how this game was coming about. Unfortunately, they did prioritize another game, but it's such a shame because I think a lot of us would have loved to have played this game. Maybe one day they'll re-pick it back up again and we'll be able to get this on our consoles. So for console games, Plants vs Zombies seems to be at an end. However, on the mobile side, what is happening there? Are they still working on Plants vs Zombies 3? Is there any other games that they're also working on? What is quite concerning to me is that the Plants vs Zombies Twitter used to always be constantly active, posting pictures, retweeting fan art, or simply mentioning things going on in their mobile games. Yet their Twitter has been completely silent since December 2022. Which was simply a tweet wishing everyone a happy holidays. And the last tweet before that was in September. So we've only had 2 tweets from the official Plants vs Zombies account in over 5 months. Not to mention their profile picture and banner are still advertising Battle for Neighborville, which released in September 2019 and then on Nintendo Switch in March 2021. Now, of course, social media isn't the most important thing. What is posted on there doesn't mean that game developers aren't working on games. I hope they are working hard on Plants vs Zombies 3, and I hope we do get an amazing game when it releases. Because as PvZ fans, we are in need of something new and fresh, and we want that game to be supported for a long time. Plants vs Zombies Heroes released in 2016. That was something a bit different, and that was nice, but development quickly stopped on that game. And we don't want the same thing to happen again for Plants vs. Zombies 3. Now, if I head over to the PopCap website, there is at least 50 job openings available that people can apply for at Seattle. Now, this can be taken one of two ways. The positive direction that we can take a look at this is that Plants vs. Zombies or PopCap are still working on a lot of games or have a lot of plans. Hence why they need at least 50 people to apply for the jobs. This could be that they have a lot of plans for Plants vs. Zombies 3, potentially other unannounced games as well, or we could look at this in a negative way, and that could be that a lot of people have left the studio in Seattle and they're needing to quickly try and replace them so that they still have enough people to work on the games. That can possibly be taken one of two ways. I'll let you decide which one you think it could be. Now, I adore the mobile games of Plants vs. Zombies, but I would be lying if I didn't say my true passion of the franchise was the third-person shooters. Dun, 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 dun.
Bum, 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 bum. Oh look, we got a cheeky bonus garden.
I am a competitive person, I love PvP games, and I love how much fun I had on the Plants vs. Zombies shooters. I made so many friends, and some of my favourite memories aren't even playing the games themselves, it was the entire community around those games. Gary Clay was the voice of Plants vs. Zombies online, and he's such an amazing guy. He was connected with the community so much, he knew exactly what to say.
Quick impression of Jeremy.
Oh my god, I'm having a migraine. I can't make it to work tomorrow. You guys are going to have to do the stream without me.
Kick the man when he's down. That's what they do in Simpson.
So that's an identical impression to Jeremy, as you guys know. You've seen him on the stream.
I used to be so excited to tune into the Live from PopCap streams every week and hang out and chat with everyone. And every one of those streams did not fail to make me laugh. Seeing how interactive the team were was amazing to see, and not something you saw at all back in 2014. They were all about the community, and that was really nice to see. The mobile games are fun, but they will never come close to the love that I have for the shooters, because that's where I fell in love with the PvZ franchise, and it's a shame that we've probably seen the last of them. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that one day we'll be lucky enough to have another Plants vs. Zombies game, even if it's not a shooter, just something new and exciting on consoles. I just don't want to see my favorite game franchise slowly be forgotten about and get smaller and smaller. So that pretty much wraps up today's video. Please let me know, as I mentioned at the start of this video, your favorite memory that you have about Plants vs. Zombies. Is it a certain moment that happened in a certain game? Did you meet, I don't know, a friend, a partner through the Plants vs. Zombies games? Is it something that you collect in the Plants vs. Zombies franchise? Please let me know in the comments down below. I would love to go through and read them all. But thank you so much for watching. My name is Zero, and I will hopefully catch you guys in the next video.